Hey, meaningful movers. Welcome back to Move With Meaning, the podcast where actions have meaning, words have meaning, and we open up the conversations to discover what's your next move. I'm your host, Krystal. In today's episode, can we just talk about what comes with that C-suite promotion? It's not just your career that levels up, but so does the feeling of isolation. But you know how it is and what we do. We need to set that theme, so let's go ahead and do that. The word of the day is lonesome. This is not the same as being lonely, which is having a desire for a companion. Lonesome includes that, but invokes a self-reflective perception that can be felt deeply. We often get caught up in the throes of the climb until we reach a great milestone and take a look around that we notice the people we've connected with are, well, shallow. They do say it's the company you keep. That's enough of me talking. How about we introduce our guest? And there's no one better to do that than himself. Nico, why don't you go ahead and give the people a bit of background about yourself and what you're going to share with us today?
Thanks, Krystal. Yeah, sharing you today. Wow. Well, yeah, it's like you said. I focus on understanding C-level, C-suite founders who have climbed the ladder and ended up at the top of the mountain and looked around and said, what am I doing here all alone? I should be, having tens of people. I'm not going to say thousands because that would be crazy, but tens of people around me that should be supporting me. And where are they? And that's what we're talking about. So I'm a confidant to highly successful entrepreneurs, CEOs, and founders.
Many of those out there these days.
Absolutely.
And you've had your own personal experience with this, right? You're on a personal development journey, 15 years and going, right? So You had your own bout with burnout and depression. Is this at a C-suite level too for you?
Well, that was still middle management.
Oh, wow. So you didn't even get all the way up there before this started. Okay. No, I mean, that's so real though. Yeah.
Yeah. It's the concrete wall came early, but the realization came a lot later. No, yeah, it's a journey that a lot of us go through. It's the identification of who you really are. And that's a lot about what burnout or depression is. You just walk around years and years with a big mask on your face and not being your real you. And the moment that you start being your real you, people start disappearing. That's one of the things as well when you come into these high level or high achieving leadership roles, is that at some point you are really who you are. And you think, you come up there and you get the promotion, you're standing there in the group of people who are cheering you on, you've taken that next step. But then 2 days later, 3 days later, people start asking you questions and looking for directions, and you're the man, or the woman in any case, and you have everything going on, and it's like, whoa, hold on. I used to have like 15 people around me who were my peers, and I could talk to them about these subjects that I am now doing solo. I need to run the place here. And it's fun in the beginning because, you're in the jive, you're doing your stuff. And at some point, there is another concrete wall that you meet. And this one has a lot of nails in it. It is very, very rough. And you need to climb it. Or either you destroy it or you climb it. It's one of the two. Now, what I've learned in the past is that it's a bit what you said, the people you surround yourself with. But it's not within the company. It is the people out there. And I'm not talking about friends, family, etc. No, I'm talking about those concrete people that you look up to. My grandmother always said, any human being is a human being. They have their fears, they have their consequences, they have everything that you have, maybe 10 times more or less. It's not important. The thing is that you need to find those humans that you resonate with, and you can ask them questions. I'm currently running a team that has a lot of issues, and what am I going to do, and so on. And you jump outside of the company, you ask a couple of people that are resonating with you, are in network environments with you, that you can talk to. And that's where I come in with my story. As a confidant, I talk to C-levels and founders, and they tell me their stories without any veil or any limitation or any whatever. They can tell me because I keep it confidential. And that's what they need. It's a big world out there, and there's a lot of knives on the table. And I've been in a lot of big corporations. I've been in IBM, I've been in Verizon, I've been in local smaller companies. And I can tell you, if I pull out all the knives that I found in my backpack, pardon my French, it's a shitload.
Yeah.
And it's just a part of your story, keep them. Don't put them away. Don't pull them out. No. Pulling out a knife from a wound is not a good idea. You need to find a surgeon first. So find your person that can be your surgeon and then yank it out and then say, okay, now let's sew it shut. But keep the knife in your backpack, because that part gives you the next step to cross over that one big concrete wall that I told you about earlier. It's all these little steps that have you challenged, have you come to a point where you need to ask questions to external. You do not have to do this alone. That's one thing that I have, emphasized so many times to these leaders is like, come on, stop thinking that you're the only person in the world. I don't know if you ever saw this image, but they made this little movie about how big the Earth was, maybe how big your country is, and then how big the Earth is, and then, going up to the moon and looking at all the planets in your solar system. Then you end up at the sun, it's like humongous. And then you end up, our Milky Way is like, what? I'm nothing. But if you grow with a lot of people around you and you learn from those people and they are not within those circles that are in your company, find some. Absolutely. No problem. Within the company, you can find people that can help you, but they are doers. They are not those guys that are going to think with you. That's one of the things that I try to, emphasize a lot on, is that you do not have to do this alone. Find the people outside who can aid you in this journey. And C-level, these chief operating
officer, executive officer,
chief executive officer. Wow, this is a baby that was born. Chief executive officer. They come up from maybe even from the floor. Mm-hmm. They grow into a company and they become team lead, then they become manager, then become director, then become vice director or vice president, and then suddenly they're bombarded to being CEO. In a whole pathway that they went up, they met a lot of people. They had a lot of competition because everybody's striving to get on the top of that mountain. They had a lot of competition. So they either made them friends, work friends. I'm really showing the big brackets here. Work friends, nobody's your friend at work. Forget it. Be honest with yourself. Nobody's your friend. They are companions on the road to whatever you're going in your job. All those people that they've worked with before, they have to learn to detach from them at that level. They do not have to be alone, but they need to detach from the people that they used to work with, because now they're part of your team. You're the one leading them. And that's detachment. It's a bit like the wolves. If you compare it to a wolf pack, the alpha male is always in the back of the track. They're not at the front. The older wolves, they're walking in the front because they're the slowest ones. So they kind of set the pace. Now, as a C-level or a founder, you're supposed to be at the back of the pack because the rest of the guys or ladies are the experts. Those are the people who know how to do the stuff. You're supposed to be guiding them from the back and pushing them forward. That's your job. You're not there to be friends. You're not there to do anything like that. You should be aware of that. Again, find people outside the organization that can aid you in with those, personal feelings. Yeah. Show them, talk about them, because you are only human. Don't make yourself anything otherwise in your mind. You're human and you need to talk about these things and you need your pack, but find them. And that's one thing that I have as a major message that I wanted to bring to you today is when it comes down to this loneliness or isolation or anything like that, do not compare it to private things. Like you said, finding a partner is a different story. I have had the luck of life. I've been together with a person that is, been my muse, my fun, my sorrows, everything together for 16 years. And she's now stepping into my business as a partner. And I've told her from day one, we are doing business. We are not partners. As in, a couple. You have to make that clear. A lot of stuff you have to make clear for yourself and for your team and for all the people that you work with as a leader. And it's difficult. It's absolutely difficult because people are, oh yeah, I want to run a company. No, you don't. In all honesty, no, you don't. The worries, the pressure, all of that stuff, it is heavy stuff.
It varies.
Not everybody gets the opportunity, but not everybody is ready for the opportunity either. Make yourself clear about that as well. Yeah.
I was just making some notes as you were going, and the common theme that I was hearing from you was really around trust of yourself, trust of those around you, and trust that folks are going to have your back. I mean, I think for me, when I became a decision maker, that was hard. It was like they're asking you something and they're looking at you like waiting. Like I didn't expect people to look at me, ask a question, and be looking at me waiting. Where they did not move, they did not go any other way. You make a call, and then if something happens, they're back to you saying, "What do we do?" And so what ends up happening is you get into that freeze moment where you are processing like 50 million outcomes in that split second just to make a decision because one, you don't want to be wrong, and two, you don't want to have to deal with like if it didn't work, as if that's an issue. Like, you know what I mean? Like that's a reflection on your leadership. Like, and so it took me a moment to kind of say, okay, if I make a decision, make the decision, okay? And when it doesn't work out, now you know that doesn't work, but here's another way we can go. Like here's a different path. And to be able to adjust to that is really good. But I've come across a lot of people that have been like that for years. They're in leadership positions and they struggle with making decisions. And I'm like, how are you still doing this? Like, you know what I mean? How are you still in this role? And it takes you 5 weeks or 2 months or whatever to make a decision. Like I'm thinking about, I'm like, you had a lot of information that I had, and I still would have made a decision a long time ago. I would do these exercises where I said, based on right now, what would your decision be? And then they would make it. I said, okay, now let's go ahead and go through all the information. And then as we go through all the information, it may be a couple weeks later, I said, what is your decision? And it'll be the same decision that it was at the beginning. I'm like, wow. You held up an entire team who was looking for you to lead. You know, you imagine if you're in a life, you know what I mean? Like a life,
life-threatening
you can't
situation.
wait. Right. So I know that was just a big piece for me. I like how you said, because you're like, I'm not a coach, I'm not a mentor, but I'm a confidant. I like that because that's missing so much in corporate. It really is. Yeah, you know what? I think when I first got my first career coach, my company actually bought it for us. Okay. Someone just recommended me, like this company was like, hey, we're going to offer you, this flat rate, the way to get into the door of however many people you want for us to coach. And they coached me over 8 months and I was nominated. So I was like, sure. Because I didn't, at that time, I was like, I don't need no career. You know what I mean? Like, I don't need no, like I'm succeeding. Why do I need a career coach? And I'm doing everything I set my sights on and whatever. Man, that turned my life around. I did not realize that I was suffering emotionally. I didn't realize how little I believed in myself, even though I was succeeding. I did not realize the level of impact I had on those that I did lead. And one of them, like, she just reached out to a couple people that I led. She didn't tell me who said this or whatever. And this is someone who had moved on from the company. So I was no longer working with them. I was no longer seeing them or anything. And she reached out to them. I kind of know who it was, but she said, I will follow Krystal anywhere. And I like burst into tears. She's like, why are you crying? What's going on? I said, I don't ever feel that people see value in me. I know that I'm giving value, but there's no way for me to really see unless I had heard that it had landed, that they meant something. Like, we don't talk enough for me to see everything that I'm doing, because as I'm leading, I'm teaching. I don't want anyone to ever say, we need 10 more Krystals. I'm like, no. No, you don't, because I cannot be replicated. I always wanted to be like, let me give you someone who I've coached and mentored, because you're going to get the same thing that you see out of me, because I've mentored them. I've taught them of what to do. Not only do you have them, but you also have me in your back pocket, so that if something came up, they can always reach out to me as their mentor or confidant. So I really love that. Tell me, how does company politics plays in this? Because I like it.
That's jumping from trust to company politics. That's way big jump there.
Yeah, it is. But I think
I want to first ask you one question, Krystal. Let me jump a little bit back. So you were saying about what you experienced with the coaching. How many times a day do you walk by a mirror and look into it?
One, and that's in the morning when I'm brushing my teeth.
Yeah. But do you really look into the mirror?
No, I don't. No.
Try doing that. I just wanted one little tip that I give people is try looking in the mirror and really looking in the mirror and looking at the person that's in front of you, because you've done a shitload to become the person that you are. And don't forget that, because whomever you become, it is always the product of your history, and take it all with you, because it's very important. If you learn to trust people, really, this is so important. If you learn to trust people, hold on to it, because losing trust in people is very difficult to overcome. So if you look in the mirror in the morning and you see a person that you trust, my God, you are blessed. Yeah. Do you see a person that you're doubting? You're probably trusting them as well, but you're not realizing that. So really take that with you, and just take the time sometimes to look at yourself and say, hey, wow, hey, you're there in the mirror. You're amazing. You're the one that, I trust you. And if you have that trust within yourself, you're going to automatically create that in others. So they're going to start trusting you. And as a leader, trust is key to everything.
It is.
Jumping back to office politics or business politics or corporate politics, if you want to get things done, get things done. Do not think about too many things, because making choices, like you said earlier, making choices is difficult for a lot of people. There is no good, there is no bad, there's only choices. If you take a choice, go with it. It's a bad choice, who gives an F? Fix it. Because that's leadership. You're taking risks, and that's fine. If you trust yourself and you start trusting the people you work with, that's where the magic is. That's leadership. That is basically what leadership is. You start building an environment that I ask my team to do thing A, B, C, and they do it. And not because they're blindly looking at you as the mentor who's saying, oh my God, we need to do this. No, because they know your decision is the right one that you took earlier. And even though if it's wrong, they're going to be covered. You're going to cover their asses, and you're going to support them in everything that they've done wrong, and they learn out of that. And that's key. Keep your people in the trust zone, and you will win them, and they will go through fire for you. And what you mentioned earlier, I am not astonished about the person saying this about you, Krystal, because the vibe that you give to me is so clear. You know what you're doing, and you know when you're taking decisions that they are the right ones. And it's not about character. It's not about who you are or this or that. It's just a pure being. You're taking decisions. That's all you need to do in life. That's all we do. I decide to breathe every second. That's a decision I make. It's subconsciously, but you are allowing your body. Do you know that people could actually die of thinking about the fact that they're losing something and they're stopping with their breathing at some point, so they die because of it? Breathing is a choice. Eating is a choice. Getting up in the morning is a choice. Everything you do is a choice, because you want to move forward. So as long as you're getting up in the morning and trusting yourself and doing all these beautiful things, you're going to be a magnificent leader, because the first person that you need to lead is yourself, not your team. It's yourself. And that's what C-levels need to learn as well. They need to understand that even though they're isolated, they are leaders of themselves. So that's the first team that they need to manage. All the rest of them, it's just second phase. It'll come. You start doing your first thing. That's you. Trust yourself. Love yourself. Act on yourself. Do the things that you need to do to become better. Clean up the knives in your back. Stitch them up. Put them in your backpack. Learn from them. Don't be resentful. Start using them as lessons learned and use them as extras for your people. It's so freaking important. And office politics is BS. It is all an illusion. It is just something that was created at some point. And as long as you yourself are trustworthy and you do what you say, you commit to something, you commit to the fact that your team is running and they make mistakes. Okay, let them make mistakes. It's freaking human nature to make mistakes. Yes. We are not allowed to make mistakes anymore. Why? That is just stupid. It's really stupid. Just don't make mistakes and support your people in that, and you will have a company that will rise up, and your people will be happy, and you will be happy, and you will just flow. It's not easy. It's not easy. No, it's true. It's not easy. It's actually as easy as you yourself make it, but it's not easy as long as you don't take those decisions and say, I'm going to do this. I'm going to take care of me, the team in me, and then start working on the outside. Which the funny thing is, once you start working on the inside, the outside is just a fix.
Oh, yeah.
It's going to happen. You vibe, they vibe. You trust, they'll trust. You do actions, they will do actions. You take wrong decisions, they might even do the same thing, but you're still supporting them. So you're, going forward and fixing those things. It is absolutely so funny when you mention office politics and corporate politics, because I've seen it so many times. I have seen people taken away by ambulance because they felt so attacked, and they come back as a completely different person once they've started, going into therapy, talking to people about what was going on and so on. It's so important, go outside, ask questions, but start for yourself, start within. Find a therapist that helps you, not your team.
You know what my favorite advice that I give to folks who are dealing with things like that? I always say, stick to the facts. Stick to the facts. because nobody can dispute facts.
Absolutely.
When you draw conclusions, they're not drawn from assumptions, they're not drawn from emotions or feelings. Like, that's the easiest way to deal with anything, any kind of frustration that you're working with, or you're dealing with someone who is passive aggressive and just coming at you either because they feel that you're a threat, they have some kind of antagonistic attitude towards you. Just stick to the facts. Stick to the facts. I remember telling a team something and I'm like, you guys are producing the least amount of work and you have the most amount of information out of all 4 of my teams. And the lead was like, Krystal, I think you're basing this completely on emotion. Let's try to move past that. I go, what emotion? I said, is it true, everyone here, that you have received the most amount of information? I have went around and gave you everything you have asked for. Is that not a fact? And not only did the guy say yes, but the other people on the call, it had to be like 10 or 15 people on those calls. And they go, mm-hmm. And I said, and is it a fact that you've produced the least amount of work out of everyone else with less information? And everyone, he goes, yes. I said, so where's the emotion? Right? Once that happened, immediately kind of said, okay, let's start over, because it put them in a place of, okay, well, I am the one that is getting emotional. I am the one that's getting defensive. And I see now everything that I've asked for and that I've received. I've been helped as much as I possibly can. I haven't given anything back. So maybe I need to take a step back and restart. It works all the time. Like I can't tell you how many times people come into a conversation gassed up for whatever reason. And then if you stick to the facts and say, let's take the facts, because that's what a therapist does, right? I just love it. I love facts. Maybe it has something to do with the fact I'm in computer science. I don't know, and data and all that kind of stuff, but it just works for me.
I call it being a Vulcan.
A Vulcan? What is that?
Wait, Star Trek? You know, those guys with the pointy ears? They're not elves, by the way. They're Vulcans. And the Vulcans are logical. You know, they move aside emotions. And that's why I call them, be the Vulcan. Be the Vulcan of the team. Ask those annoying questions about, prove it.
There you go.
Show it to me. Show it to me that we're wrong.
Thank you. Oh, I love it.
Explain that to
We're
me.
one and the same, Nico. I want to quickly go into this one piece here. Some advice you got from your mentor. People should let you do what you do and leave you alone to do it. I love that. I mean, it screams micromanagement to me. Like, I mean, to avoid that. But I love it because it's like, I've been there. Where it's like, just let me work. I've just been that way. And I'm like, I don't know how to say, leave me alone. But I think this is a really good message just for leaders, because it puts so much pressure on us, folks who are doing the work and that are constantly be hammered with their leadership. Where you at? How are you doing it? This way, or whatever else. So I think it's a good message, really, honestly, to leaders to trust their people and leave them to do what they do best. Tell me what you took from that.
It's kind of a rule within my leadership. I don't tell people what they need to do. I don't know what they need to do. I'm the dumbest person in the meeting room. I am the dumbest person in the meeting room. No, I'm freaking intelligent, but they don't know that. But but the point is, if you have like 20 people in a meeting and you're discussing a certain topic, which you as a manager are not aware of all the details, you're the dumbest person in the room. Ask questions. That's all you need to do as a leader. Ask questions. Because if they come to a point where a decision needs to be made, exactly like you said, give me the information I need. You don't have the information that I need. What's the decision that I need to make so that you can get that information? And so on. They are the expertise. They're the expert. Those are the guys and girls that who know how the whole thing works. Why should I tell them what to do?
Yeah.
And I worked in these environments, really. I'm currently actually working together with a nuclear power plant. You can imagine all those guys are engineers. So it's like thinkers. Yeah. And then the other guys are like action, red, bam, come on, let's do this, let's do that. Whoa, hold on. Whoa. You have to put a brake on. But the leadership is worse because they are micromanaging. They are telling people exactly, step by step, by procedure, what they need to do, and so on. And honestly, in a nuclear power plant, please do that. Yeah. Absolutely, happy that you do that, keep it that way. But, and there's a big but there. If you're talking about people who are not technical, who are in a supporting role, who are aiding your environment to, find out what needs to be done and where the errors are and so on, have them be the experts. because those guys, even the ones that are, turning the devices and the whatever they call it, those really big rings that they need to turn to open up a valve and stuff like that, they're the experts. Ask them questions. They know what they're doing, by the way. Okay, yes, and I see people coming forward like, yeah, but sometimes you have these dumbasses, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, well, okay, yeah. Don't talk about exceptions. I am talking about your mainstream person that is in a company. They went to high school, they went to college, they went to university or whatever. These people know what they're doing because they've learned. And especially the older the person is, listen more. Listen more to them. They might be stubborn, yes. They might be generation whatever they find these days as a vibe word. I'm a generation X apparently, so I'm one of the most annoying people that you can find in these cases. But my brother's worse, by the way. He's 8 years old or so. It's like a completely different story. But the thing is, what I learned from him is that there's a lot of people out there that know exactly what they need to do, and you do not need to be there to tell them. They will come to you. Because if you take this on as a leadership way and you believe in what they're doing, if something is going to go wrong and they're not sure, don't worry, they'll come to you. They will be there very quickly. And if you then use the trust story that I told you earlier, you work on yourself and your team, they will be there a lot quicker. Because they're like, okay, I need to do this or that. Yeah, let's check with the guy upstairs. Yeah, let people do what they need to do. They know what they're doing. They're not dumbasses. Don't make people dumbasses. People don't trust each other. They're all there. They have like a pile of knives on their desk to get ready for stabbing anybody in the back. What I've learned in all these years is we're all human beings. Let's emphasize on the being. Learn to be and listen and act in the right way in your environment. Be that person to aid others, to show them that they are allowed to do what they are experts in, and so on. Let it flow sometimes. I've seen people running to a wall, and I just let them run. I knew exactly what was going to go wrong.
Me too.
Just let them do that. It's a gift. It's horrible at the time because you got a lot of shit to clean up. Right. But let them do that. Yeah. Sorry, you're gonna have to do a lot of beeps in the podcast, I think, because I use a lot of French words.
I don't beep. Yeah, cool. We're okay. I don't do all that. This is the real talk. I mean, but you're right. Being a leader isn't having all the answers, but being able to ask the right questions. So I appreciate that. Listen, I want to ask you for your golden nuggets, but I honestly think your 3 pillars here are like perfect for that. Is that okay for you to end with that, or you have a different message?
No. Shoot. Bring them on.
All right. So we're going to end here, Nico, with his 3 pillars. They have him kind of give us a quick summary of them, but radical truth, deep connection, and enjoying the journey instead of the destination. You want to go ahead and sum that up for us?
Oh, yeah. Radical truth is learning to listen and speak to each other in a beautiful, truthful way. Stop hiding. Just say what's going on and you'll fix things a lot quicker. Automatically, when you start doing that, you get deep connection. We are in a world where opinion is thrown all over and slandered all over this thing called internet, social media, whatever system that you might find, even podcasts. Absolutely. You must be honest on that one. Making a deep connection. We've had 2 conversations. So we had this one and a previous one. And we vibe. We understand each other. This is the first step in deep connection. It's really get a good conversation and talk about it. Listen to each other and talk about it. Get that connection. And it's not friendship. Don't make an illusion. It's deep connection. It is at a human being level. We are here as 2 entities, experiencing a human life. Let's go that way. And now, the top of the bill, the most important thing that you need in the whole freaking thing of your life is enjoy this journey. Sitting here, listening at this podcast, listening at Krystal, and subscribe. Do the first thing right now, 5-star. You know the drill. You know what I need to do. Just do that because this is an amazing podcast, and just being here, enjoying this conversation, getting all this beautiful information. Am I telling you the truth? I have no idea. I don't have all the truth in me. It's not possible. I strive to have all the truth and get truthfulness out of it. But enjoy this. Enjoy this sitting in the chair listening to this podcast. And if you're driving somewhere, enjoy the drive. Look outside. There's a sun shining or there's rain. It's all the same. It's just a beautiful thing that you are enjoying. Don't think about your destination as the only thing that you're looking for. If you're striving for a management position, go for it. But enjoy the path that you're taking towards that management position. C-level, founder, starting a business. Enjoy the freaking road. Don't enjoy the destination, because if you're there, you're there, and that's it. There's nothing more. It's like a gold medalist. I love taking this as an example. Do you know, Krystal, and this is a heavy one, to finalize this podcast, I need a heavy one. 70% of gold medalists end their lives.
No, I didn't.
Don't quote me on the numbers, but it's very high.
Mm-hmm.
Why is that? They have strived either from very young or over the years. They have strived to become gold medalists. They have the opportunity every 4 years. So it's very unique. It's not like a world championship where you can maybe even get it every year. Michael Phelps, our beautiful swimmer in the US, he got a lot of medals. This guy, repetitive. Okay, a lot of people get their gold medal once in their lives. They strive so much for that gold medal. They have lived for it. They have acted for it. They have habits for it. They left people behind, loved ones they have lost on that path, and they come to that top of the mountain. They get this golden plate on their chest. They kiss it once, and there are 3 reactions. Either they make a big party and that's it. They move on with their lives and they're happy and they go for other things. Second way is like, is this it? Is there nothing more? I've been striving for this so long. And then you have the third reactions, which is usually a person that has gone so long. And the pity is they've gone so long for only this that they actually end it because they don't see the next step. Don't be that person. Be the person that enjoys all the time before you get the golden medal. Don't even strive for that gold medal. Put it up there. Make your goals so freakishly big, they're unachievable. But go for that and enjoy that step-by-step path. I've learned one thing, and that is I am still enjoying every step that I'm taking. Our conversation, enjoyed it. Thank you so much, Krystal, for giving me the opportunity to bring these 3 pillars to the board and maybe inspiring one person that listens today.
Ooh, it's going to be more than one. You have that effect.
Let's bring up the ego a little bit and say, yes, please.
Yeah. So that's the episode today. You never really link feeling alone with career success, do you? It's such a quiet suffering that the association seems obtuse. Yet it is so common that we end up losing the support that we need at the cost of maintaining the put-together appearance. I always have this picture in my mind of a hand reaching down to me, open, waiting, wanting. It was always so difficult for me to reach up and take it because I thought it meant that I was undeserving of the success or I wasn't built for it. How wrong I was. That's why I appreciate Nico for sharing his story and how being a confidant can be the difference between long-lasting success and disillusionment. His passion is rooted in his own experience and commitment to helping others. Just remember, when you reach for the stars, take hold of the hand to help you get there. I love it all, and so will someone else. Before I let you go, Nico, why don't you go ahead and remind the people who you are, where they can find your resources and reach out to you.
Well, you can find me on nicovandevenne.com. I have a unique name, so you'll probably find me. And find me on LinkedIn right there, the same name. Or, ask Krystal for my data. She'll give it to them.
Sure will. I'll make sure to include all of Nico's resources and connections in the episode description, as well as on my website's resources page, movingwithmeaning.com. Make sure you guys subscribe to the show, Moving With Meaning the podcast, and tap that alert bell so you know when these episodes drop. I am on Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, Spotify, and YouTube Music. Please share, like, repost, and follow. Tag someone. We're creating a community. Quick housekeeping before you go. Follow me on Instagram at movingwithmeaning82. And on Pinterest at Arthur KB Clark. Also connect with me on LinkedIn. I do dabble in TikTok at Krystal B. Clark. My Etsy store has some handy dandy digital downloads. Lastly, run over to my YouTube channel and have a look or two. Links are in the episode. Alrighty, I'm Krystal on Moving With Meaning the podcast, reminding you to take it one step at a time. All moves have meaning. Check y'all later.